Do you ever feel like your paycheck disappears the moment it hits your account? Or maybe you've caught yourself saying, I deserve this, right before you had another Amazon splurge. You might be living beyond your means. And today we're going to discuss it. We're talking about why that's a financial red flag and how that red flag can silently ruin your life. And that red flag is living beyond your means. And we're going to discuss the hidden consequences of living beyond your means. And what does it mean? Let's get going. Let's jump right into it. What does it mean to live beyond your means? Let's keep it simple. If you're spending more money than you earn, you're living beyond your means. That could mean you're relying on credit cards, you're taking out loans, and you're taking out those loans so that you can afford everyday life things, right? Or it could mean that you're dipping more into your savings and you're doing all of that just to stay afloat. Wow. Wow. And that is called living beyond your means, right? And it's so easy to fall into this trap, especially in a world of instant gratification. Instant gratification. We want everything right now. So, instant gratification. Now, that means that you can utilize different payment methods like buy now, pay later, or the social media pressure to keep up with the Joneses. And I didn't say that right. Let me say that again. To keep up with the Joneses. I put my syllables on there. But there's a cost, and it's bigger than you think. Wow. I was interested in this topic through a video I saw on Fox News on Fox 26 in Houston, Texas. The media personality, Isaiah, with the Isaiah Factor, talked about, he had a panel and he discussed the consequences of financially living beyond your means. And it was such a good discussion. I'm going to make sure I put the link to that video so everyone, you guys can check it out. Very good discussion. So I wanted to bring that discussion over to my channel and my blog. So let's continue to talk about it. I wanted to share that personal story with you there. Now, we discuss what it means to live beyond your means. That means that you're spending more than what you make, than what you earn. And it's easy to fall into that trap. Now, let's break it down with the consequences. What are the consequences of living beyond your means, right? Well, it starts with your debt. Your debt just starts spiraling. And that means that credit cards seems very helpful. They seem very helpful until you're only able to make the minimum payments on them. And that interest, boy, that interest just builds faster than your income, right? And soon you'll see that you will be paying hundreds a month just to keep up or just to stay in the same place. Goodness, that's living beyond your means. Number two, what's a consequence? It's damaging your credit score, right? And what that means is that your utilization of your credit is very high, like if your credit cards are at the max and your utilization is high, that's a consequence. It's going to damage your credit score, right? And so, what happens? Missing payments, or you begin missing payments, that's a consequence. And you're maxing out the cards, and then your credit score just begins to tank. So, that affects your ability to rent an apartment, to rent a place, to buy a car, or even to get hired at some jobs. Boy, do I know that early on in my life, I had some challenges early on in my early 20s. And um, I had an employer to say, and I was almost perfect. I had one bad thing on my credit. And I had an employer to tell me, I think I was maybe 22 or something. And the employer told me, well, Ann, uh, everything's great, but because where you're trying to get into the industry, we can't have not even one bad thing on your credit. And so I told the employer, hey, I'm going to get it together. And I did. It took me less than 6 months, less than 6 months. And I got it cleared up and gone. And that was a lesson for me. I never tried to have anything bad on my credit. If it depended on me, ain't nothing bad is going to be there. But that was a lesson to me early on in my 20s, and it stuck with me. So another thing that it could cause is stress and mental health, right? So living paycheck to paycheck is stressful, right? And it's exhausting. And the constant worry about bills and calls from the creditors, and the shame about, money, and it could just all lead to anxiety and depression. And it's so rough. And that's why I just have a kind heart for everybody, because you just don't know what people are going through there. But if there's something that you can do to prevent it, then definitely jump on it one bite at a time, one step at a time, right? And the next consequence is the lack of your savings and your emergency fund. So without your savings and emergency fund, like what happens when your car breaks down, or what happens when a medical bill arrives? So you can just try to push it aside, but those types of crises will happen. And when you're living beyond your means, you're always one step away from a financial disaster. So you just never know. So I would say just do the very best you can to build up savings, to pay things down, and then just try to get some peace in your life with that. But those are the consequences there. It also says one last consequence. It does say it can delay your financial goals. So that's true. And when you're living beyond your means, you're not thinking about your goals or your finances. And, you're not thinking about buying a home, saving for retirement, and things like that. So you definitely want to consider those consequences. And I know that was kind of, heavy, but we got to talk about it. We can't sweep it under the rug, right? What can you do about it? And how can we break that cycle, right? All right, let's talk about it. What can you do? How can you help yourself? And how can you break the cycle? Well, one, you can track your spending. I do that every month. I track my spending. I use the apps through my bank. And I also use pen to paper. I jot things down, and I jot it down, and sometimes I use my Excel spreadsheet. But if I'm in a rush and I want to just see what I did, I write it down. I write down what my income was for the month, and I write down my expenses, and I compare it to my checking account, what I spent, what I brought in, and I have an estimation of what I have leftovers, right? So you want to track your spending because you become aware, and awareness is the first step, right? So you could use budgeting apps and you can write it down like I just explained. And you need to know where every dollar goes, right? Right. All right. Number two, and this is how to break the cycle and what you could do. Number two, create a realistic budget, realistic, right? Uh, Budgeting isn't supposed to feel restrictive, it's supposed to be empowering so that you know, hey, this is how much I make after taxes. This is what I bring home. These are my expenses, and I know what to do. It's supposed to empower you. And then you know you want to put things aside to pay yourself first, but then you want to know, what do I have to pay off? Who do I owe? And, and you want to be empowered because don't be scared. Don't be afraid. Some people are afraid to open their mail, their email. No, 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 no. Don't be afraid. This is going to empower you. So, doing a budget empowers you and it gives you that confidence to say, you know what? Okay, I got this. I know who I owe. I know, how much I make, and I know what I got to do. And sometimes you have to get a second job, get more income, be enterprising. And somebody had to tell me that. But I've always been the kind of person, I've always had more than one job, or I always was thinking of ways how to keep moving myself forward with income. And I tell you, I don't know everything. We're not an island. We need people, we need help. So I had to help, ask for help. And I had to like ask people, like, what do you do? Or how do you do this? Or I read a lot. I read a lot of books. So get out there, be empowered, take no for an answer, and have that confidence to know to say, hey, this is take accountability, be accountable, get that confidence and just say, hey, this is what I owe, this is what I bring. What am I going to do to make it better? You may have to jump to it, DoorDash, Lyft. You may have to just get back into it until things get better. And that's what I had to do too. But you guys got this. You got it, right? And then number three, you want to cut unnecessary expenses. Do you really need that streaming service? I go through my streaming service every every month. It's so funny. Every month I go through my streaming service and I say, do I need Peacock? Do I need Paramount? Do I need this? And I cut stuff. And then every now and then, if they're having a special where I could get the streaming service for like $2.99 or something like that, I may pick it back up on the thing. But if I'm not watching it, you can only watch one streaming at a time. I know different shows come on different streamings. I had to get rid of a couple of things because all of that, it really adds up, right? And then this is something I'm doing too, and I love to cook, but then sometimes I get tired. So we have to cook at home more. That will save you. That would cut the going out expense. And for me, I love to cook, and I like to cook at home. But then sometimes after a long day, I'm mentally like, oh, I just want the convenience of grabbing something. But no, you have to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and say, hey, I'm going to eat at home. So on that one, I'm talking to myself, God. And then all of those small cuts will definitely like make a difference, right? And then lastly, how you can help is build an emergency fund. And I know that's easier said than done. It's a lot of articles, and you see and you hear different things that people just don't even have $1,000 in their savings, and that's real. That's real talk, right? And hey, this is what I say: start at $20. Start putting $20 aside until you can build 100, and then once you get 100, start putting $50 aside. Increase it. And you can automate your savings. That's what I do. I automate every month a certain amount to go over to my savings every time I get paid. And then I just know that it's there and I don't touch it. But it's hard. It's hard. And I understand, but you have to start small and do things like build your savings higher when you can, and automate the savings. That'll make it out of sight, out of mind. And then if all else fails, like I said, we are not, we need the help of others. So seek help. Like if it's, and don't be ashamed to talk to a financial advisor, a nonprofit like credit counselor, or even any financial online communities. I have a financial blog that you're willing to go to. I have financial mentorship that I do. So you could get online and go to my website, www.wellnesstalks.com, and you'll see that here. And you go on, and if you need help, there is a cost for my help, but I'm willing to help. And then there's other people that can help too. I remember when I used to work um, at the financial brokerage firm. I used to work at Fidelity. I love Fidelity still to this day, but I wasn't a financial advisor, but I was more of a financial associate, and I would help and talk to people, regarding their 401k, their pensions, and a lot of times I would get customers on the phone, and we'll just be talking about other stuff, and I'll be helping people in that way, helping the customers. But again, you could get through this, and just know that there are hidden dangers living beyond your means, and you don't have to try to impress anybody. Impress yourself, right? And you don't have to be a millionaire to live within your means. And it's not about restriction, it's about control. You take control of your life, your mental health, your peace, and understand. When you understand what you have, what you need to do, it just kind of eases your mind. But you don't have to try to impress anybody with a fancy car, the brand name clothes. Just be yourself, and people will love you. And if they don't love you, that's okay too. That's a whole nother topic for another day. I'm dealing with that. Like, you don't have to have the approval of others and worry about what everybody else is doing. But I tell you, the good news is once you do this, you'll have a peace of mind and you'll have your freedom. And you could turn it around. You could turn it around. So thank you for listening, liking, watching, and subscribing. And if you found this information that I shared today was helpful for you, then definitely hit that like button and subscribe. Yeah, give me a thumbs up, and tell me what's your biggest financial challenge right now, right? Because everybody needs help, and I am. Uh, I'm with you. I'm here to help. I would say that. Thank you. Thank you for joining, just sharing today. You guys take care. Bye bye.